for untold generations, the land of Karla was at peace. It was the time of the Concord, when the High Kings sat on the throne at Roncallion. Drawn from the purest of bloodlines, the High Kings were advised by powerful spellcasters called Majori and protected by a council of the bravest and wisest souls in all of Karla, the King's Compass. The High King's Major was Gael of the Little Hands, small folk, while the 4 members of the King's Compass, Gunda, Sarv, Ellaby and Tulloch, each had their own strengths and magical items, acquired through a lifetime of quests and service to the kings. Gunda wore an elder lion's mane braided into a headband that gave the wearer the strength of 10 men. Sarv wore armour distilled from the bones of a dragon. When ground down into sand, dragon bones could be infused with liquid metal and moulded into armour that made the wearer impervious to harm. Ellaby's item was a cloak, soaked in dye made from the powder of an ancient Apodithera, a giant invisible moth. The cloak made the wearer invisible. Tulloch wore a necklace made from the tail feathers of a phoenix. A necklace or earring so made gave the wearer the ability of flight and light. But just like all mortals, the 4 members of the King's Compass grew old and eventually died. Rather than bestowing their magical artifacts upon others who might be unworthy of such gifts, Gael transported their powers into 4 gemstones and sealed them away. For many years, Karla had no need for such artifacts, no need for magic. This was a peaceful time in Karla. But eventually, even Gael lost the inevitable battle with old age, and with him the Majori passed into myth, never to be heard from again. All was well, until the time of the Tyranny, a darker time in which magic and dragons had become but a children's story, and the old ways had become lost and forgotten. From the south came Rizul Demdemora, a tyrannical despot consumed with a thirst for power, hell-bent on seizing the castle of Roncallion. Rizul Demdemora believed that anyone powerful enough to overcome the king inside his own castle and extinguish the ancient bloodlines deserved to rule over all of Karla. It was his destiny, and he intended to fulfill it. Sweeping into Roncallion with hot fire and cold steel, Rizul laid waste to hundreds of years of peace and prosperity, laid waste to the ancient city and its golden spires, laid waste to the wise and benevolent rule of the High Kings. But even in the darkest hour, as his people died and his city burned, the king remembered the time of myths, the steps taken by his forefathers to preserve their light in times of darkness. Into a secret passage, supposedly created by Gael the Major and unused for centuries, the king sent his high servant, Tamir, a little hand. With Tamir travelled the king's 4 young children, Griffwood, aged 4, Dareth, 2, and the twins, Morgan and Owen, just 6 months old. The tunnel was dusty, the cobwebs of 1,000 years trailing from the low ceiling, but Tamir led the children on into the darkness, just a burning torch to light their way. After a while, the tunnel opened out into a large room. Tamir held the torch high, gasped in surprise as they saw words carved into the rock. Tamir traced the carved words with his finger, slowly read the verse. The right wise Lord, the bravest heart, the purest soul, for he that can himself control, a treasure doth this box conceal, which only virtue can reveal. To find the secret hid inside, humility must conquer pride. With magic blessed these gems are filled, to help a king his land rebuild. A red, blue, green and crystal stone unveil the truth, reclaim the throne. Against the evil hand upraised by those with greed and power crazed, this box will open for only one, the right wise Lord of Roncallion. It was signed by the hand of Gael the Major, and on the ground, beneath the verse, was a small box nestling in the thick dust. Tamir picked it up, blew the dust from its surface. It was beautifully made, intricately carved, inset with lapis lazuli, and like the wall, carved with words in the ancient tongue. on his 20th birthday, was all it said. Tamir slipped the box into his bag, continued their journey onwards to safety. Eventually, the passage brought them out on the far side of the Guardian Mountains. As night fell, Tamir hurried the tired children onwards, their destination a small village hidden in the forest. At a small inn, they were met by Gronk, a massive blacksmith and one of Tamir's most trusted friends. He took the twins from Tamir's weary arms, led them to a comfortable room at the rear of the inn. As the children enjoyed a simple meal, Tamir explained his plan to Gronk, Tim the miller and Syl the apothecary. With Demdamora's spies on the lookout for the king's children, they had to split up and lay low. Each of them would take one of the children and raise them as their own, quietly, secretly, with no mention even to the children of their true blood, their lineage. Despite the protests of the others, Tamir insisted the only way the children could survive was to vanish, blend into the background. It must be as though they never existed. And maybe, hope against hope, there might come a time when they could find out who they really were and reclaim their kingdom.